Bishop Mark Davies, thank you very much for granting me this interview. We've just exactly 1 month to go now before the arrival of the relic of the heart of St John Vianney on British soil for the first time. This is a brave and original idea. What inspired you to do that?
Well, I wouldn't see it as my inspiration at all, or really my idea. Pope Benedict, our Holy Father, and his blessed predecessor John Paul II raised up the figure of this saint of a century and a half ago to the attention of the Church. A saint of troubled time, a saint for priests, a saint for parishes. And it was my desire really to follow the inspiration of Pope Benedict and Blessed John Paul before him in being able in this way, the relic's visit, of raising up the figure of St John Vianney to the attention of the people of our country.
So what is the purpose of the visit of the relic?
The purpose is very similar to the visit of the relic of St Therese of Lisieux, which so many of you will remember 3 years ago in our country. It will of course be on a smaller scale, but like the visit of St Therese of Lisieux, it will be an invitation to prayer, and it will be also an invitation to reawaken that desire for holiness in many hearts.
So what kind of man, indeed what kind of priest, was St John Vianney?
St John Vianney was a very simple man in the sense of his directness, his desire to be truly authentic. He spoke about his own human poverty very often, but he also saw the greatness of his calling here on earth. So he serves as a model not only for priests in carrying out their ministry and living their vocation, but a model for all of us in seeking that holiness that we are called to amidst all our own human frailty.
So what is the greatest lesson that the Church of our times can learn from his example, both priest and laity?
I think the greatest lesson for us is not to depend on ourselves. He shows us that very much with all his struggles towards the priesthood in the midst of the upheavals of revolutionary France. In the ministry he began in a place where there was very little practice and great indifference. He shows us don't depend on yourself, depend on what the grace of God can make possible for you. And then the Curé of Ars shows us you will see great things.
So you've spoken about the visit presenting a moment of grace for the Diocese of Shrewsbury. Can you explain what you mean by that?
A moment of grace is an opportunity in our lives, which these few days of prayer together, these few days which invite us to pray with a saint offer to us, to be open to those graces which God wishes to give us as he gave to St John Vianney long before us.
And what opportunities to venerate the relic of St John Vianney will be open to Catholics of other dioceses during this time?
Well, in the few days of this visit, you'll find the full programme on the website of the Shrewsbury Diocese, but also on Friday the 6th of July, there is a national invitation to everyone to come during that day to the Metropolitan Cathedral of Christ the King at Liverpool.
And how, in the long term, would you measure the success of the visit?
Well, to measure the success of such a visit, we wouldn't be so much looking at quantifying this by numbers or responses in that way. I would regard this visit as a success if only a handful of people are invited to deeper prayer, to a more serious consideration of their vocation, and are inspired by the example of one of the greatest saints in our history who drew so many close to Christ through his own example and ministry.
So what are your own personal feelings about the visit now that the countdown is in effect, with just a month before the Heart arrives in Manchester Airport?
Well, the visit is now very close to us, and I know that a lot of planning has gone on for the visit, a lot of expectation. But I think this is now the time that we hand our plans over to the plans which the Lord has in mind for these few days when we're invited to be especially close in prayer to St John Mary Vianney. And it's my confidence that we will seek to follow that plan together as we pray together during those days.
Bishop Mark Davies, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.